It's funny you mention it. Obviously, we give a slight mention. Obviously, you anticipated on seeing Jason Roy, but he got injured. And yeah, just a bit of an update on what happened off the pitch. It was quite an interesting story came out about when it first kind of broke. A lot of the nationals were kind of leading with the fact that Jason Roy was turning his back on England. That obviously wasn't the case. He came out and a very strongly worded statement. He said, "I'm not turning my back on England," and essentially this is him sort of giving up, sort of turning down the incremental contract he's got with the ECB and effectively going over to join this new Major League Cricket franchise, which is obviously launching this month or next month. It's soon. It's very soon.
I think it's in
yeah,
July. I think it's in July. Yeah.
yeah, next month. Yeah. So obviously, when it first kind of broke, I was kind of seeing just what the Nationals were saying, and they were kind of reporting it. Oh, he's turned his back on England, and you read and it's just like, I just don't think you do that. I just don't think Roy. It's no kind of, it's no secret that he's had a tough time with England with the bat. He didn't have a great year last year.
I think
he went through a lot of.
I think that's been optimistic, to be honest, saying he didn't have a great year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is probably sugarcoating a bit, just because I do like Roy, but I think by any kind of opening batsman standards, it was a bad year for him, and I think obviously discussions have taken place behind the scenes, and I remember when it first got mentioned, the Major League Cricket, I remember his was one of the names what instantly got mentioned, without even any kind of anything concrete. It was just those names where it was either a case of people saying, "Oh, he should go out there," or "He made a great fit for this new franchise." And obviously, a couple of weeks down the line, a couple of months down the line, it's got to the point where he's going out there. What's your thoughts, Pete? Like, do you think it's a positive move for Jason Roy to maybe get out of not out of the limelight, but to move over to this new tournament and sort of give it his best shot over in America?
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. He's if it means that he ends up sort of not playing for England as much for some reason, then he's done a lot for and with England. He's a world champion, and when he was in the T20 side, they were the best T20 side in the world. So he's done a lot with England. So if it did mean that by going to America to play the Major League that he couldn't play or didn't play as much for England, he's not turning his back fresh on it. It's not like Harry, like let's say it was Harry Brook. It's not the same. They're not at the same end of their careers. I think, and I mean, we spoke about this actually before on a podcast a month or two ago when the news about Major League Cricket and they had their draft. We spoke about this before, and it was rumored that he was going to get offered a decent payday to go and play in America, almost like a marquee signing from English cricket. To take someone that could be playing in the Blast or could be playing in the 100 and take them and bring them to America. It is a big deal. I think he might. I think even if he definitely goes, I'm not sure it's been confirmed yet. I haven't seen him. I'm not.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think it's kind of from the outside looking in. It kind of sounds like a deal is coming, but obviously the final sort of confirmation's not there yet. Essentially.
Yeah. I mean, I think the issue, and I know a lot of commentators out there will be thinking the same thing, is that what will this mean in the future? I don't think it means a great deal now for English cricket, because Major League Cricket is having its first season. It will still be a small franchise compared to all the other ones. Literally all the other ones out there at the moment. It will still be a small franchise compared to them, but it could get bigger. There is real, the fact that the IPL franchises are putting money into the franchises in America, the fact that there are internationals going out there, Australians and English internationals going to play this summer, suggests that there is a seriousness behind it. And I'm not concerned by it yet, because I still think English summer cricket is obviously still the big choice, and probably will be the most pulling attraction to players for quite a long time. But when it is someone like Liam Livingstone, let's say, that chooses to go to Major League Cricket rather than stay in England, and Liam Livingstone's got a long time left in his international career with England rather than Jason Roy, let's say, that's when we'll be having the debate around, okay, then what does this mean for the future of our summer as well? We're going to have to try and compete against this majorly financially backed franchise. So there's no panic yet, but I think it's an interesting, almost like vision into the future about what might happen more and more. Do you have any thoughts on that front about what you think?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree on the whole thing of, it's not really much of a concern at the minute. I'm still kind of very much in the, to me, it's, trying to expand the game to an American audience, which, again, I said this on that previous podcast, but I just think it's one where it will, I think, given the right sort of marketing, it will be a success. And as you said, it's only when you get further down the line, when there's players who are more sort of in the peak of their international career, if they're kind of getting lured over there to play, over in the in Major League Cricket, where there will be the big. If these franchises take it seriously, the investment will be there and it'll be huge. And as you said, if it gets to the point when there's big in their sort of peak players getting called up and not getting close to, but like getting offered contracts to go over there, and they go over and play as opposed to the English summer, then I think that's when there's going to be real issues for the ECB and just sort of English cricket in general, really. But the first year it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's all basically happening in 2 stadiums, I think, for this first year.
Texas, I think.
So obviously, it very much feels like a kind of pilot to what it might become. But I mean, a successful year this year, and a year of planning and investment, and who knows what it might look like next year. And
I mean, I just think, if they pack the stadium or stadiums full of interest, if they get some decent television exposure, if they get, and I think the most important thing is if the cricket is competitive. I'm not so fussed if it's, very obviously not as high class cricketers as, say, you'll find in the standard of, well, certainly the IPL, but even Vitality Blast. If it's competitive, if it's exciting, then it will obviously attract people in. The Premier League in football attracts people in because it's one of the most exciting leagues in the world. It obviously has all the money behind it and all that kind of stuff, but it's still competitive and still exciting. And I think that if Major League Cricket has the same thing, I mean, I'm going to be watching it. It's curiosity and just wanting to see some good players. I'm going to be watching it, and if it's good cricket, I'll watch it again. It's kind of how these things work, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the bread and butter of it, isn't it? Like, they want to make it entertaining franchise, and if it's entertaining, good standard, then you're going to get cricket fans from all over the world tuning in, and there'll be plenty from England who'll be, even if it's just out of curiosity, as you said, if we tune in and see good games of cricket, then we're going to keep on watching it, and we're going to keep on becoming invested in it. And I mean, it's how the franchises get off the ground, isn't it? I mean, it's the same with the the early days of the IPL and the big clash. It's a case of exposing it to a worldwide audience. But it's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting, and sort of it'd be interesting to see where we are in sort of a year's time, getting ahead, before the second year of the MLC. I guess you'd want to.
Yeah.
You could shorten it to. Doesn't quite sound right, but yeah.
It doesn't sound right yet. It doesn't sound right.
No,
But
no.
I mean, there's two. There's the South African franchise, the franchise in Abu Dhabi, and then there'll be a second franchise of Major League Cricket as well. So like all three of them will have their second years where it'll be the kind of make or break. Just like the 100 had its second year just gone, it will be has this got potential? Is it going to be still sort of running in the background? Is it going to take over? Yeah, they've all got the same thing ahead of them.